She was gone before he even woke up. No note. No name. Just the faint scent of jasmine on the pillow and a hotel key card on the nightstand. Room 1208. A room that had been booked under a company account. A room that a cleaning staff member should never have been inside, not as a guest. Ethan Shen was the CEO of Shen Capital, one of the most powerful men in the city. A man who did not lose track of things. A man who did not forget faces. He remembered hers. What he did not know, what he could not possibly have known when he walked into that corridor with her name on his lips, was who she really was. Not a cleaner. Not nobody. The lost daughter of the wealthiest family in the city. And carrying his child. She didn't know any of that yet either. Not the full truth. Not yet. But she was about to find out. And so was he. Her name was Lily Meng. 23 years old. Cleaning staff, Jade Imperial Hotel, floor 12. First week on the job. She had come from a small village 3 provinces away. Not running from anything dramatic. Just running towards something better. A sick mother. A debt that had been growing since her father died 2 years ago. A cousin in the city who had said, "Come, there's work. You can stay with me." The cousin's couch had lasted 4 days before it became clear it wasn't a long-term arrangement. The hotel job had come through an agency. Minimum wage, early mornings, a uniform 2 sizes too large. She had not complained. She had learned early that complaining was a luxury. And she could not afford luxuries. She was thorough in her work. Faster than the other cleaners on her floor. She noticed things, the way a room had been used, what the guest had left behind, what they had been careful about. It was the kind of attention that came from growing up in a household where every resource mattered. Where wasted anything was a loss you felt. Her supervisor, a tired woman named Mrs. Chen, had said on day 3, "You're good at this. Keep your head down and don't cause trouble and you'll be fine." Lily had intended to do exactly that. The night everything changed was a Friday. The hotel was full. A corporate event in the main ballroom. Lily had been asked to stay late for the turn-down service on the executive floor. She had not been told that the executive floor that evening included the personal suite of Ethan Shen, CEO of Shen Capital. Booked under a corporate account. Room 1208. She knocked. No answer. She used her pass key. She went in. The room was dark. And not empty. She had not seen him at first. The suite was large. The city visible through floor-to-ceiling windows. She had gone to pull the curtains. And then he had spoken from the sofa. "Don't." She had turned. A man in a dark suit. Sitting with a glass of something in his hand. Looking at the city. "I'm sorry," she said. "I knocked. I didn't know anyone was." "It's fine," he said. "Stay." She should have left. She knew that. She would think about it afterward. The moment she should have simply said sorry and closed the door behind her. She didn't leave. He was different from the guests she had encountered on the executive floor. No performance, no posturing. He was sitting in the dark, looking at the city with the expression of a man who had everything and was exhausted by it. "What's your name?" he said. "Lily," she said. "Sit down, Lily," he said, "just for a minute." She sat. On the edge of the chair near the window. Her cleaning trolley still in the hall outside. Her pass key in her pocket. "You look like someone who's had a long day," he said. "So do you," she said, before she could stop herself. He looked at her. The kind of look that adjusted. Like he was seeing her for the first time. "Yes," he said, "I do." She did not know who he was. She had only been on the floor for a week. She had not learned the names attached to the suite numbers yet. To her, he was just a man in an expensive suit, sitting alone in the dark. And there was something about that, the alone in the dark part, that she recognized. She had spent a lot of nights alone in the dark herself. They talked for almost an hour. She did not remember making the decision to stay that long. It simply happened. The way conversations happen when two people are both tired and honest, and the city is spread below them like a map of everything they haven't figured out yet. She did not remember, afterward, the exact moment it became something more. She remembered the city lights. She remembered his voice. She remembered the warmth of the room, and the way the dark made things feel permissible that would not have felt permissible in daylight. She remembered thinking, just tonight. Just this once. Nobody will know. She woke at 4 in the morning. The room was still dark. He was asleep. And it hit her. All of it. At once. Like cold water. She was a cleaning staff member. In a guest's room. After spending the night with him. On her first week of the job. She would be fired. She would be blacklisted. She would lose everything she had come to the city for. She moved without making a sound. She found her uniform. Her pass key. She did not look at him again. If she looked at him again, she might not leave. And she needed to leave. She was out of the room in under 4 minutes. The corridor was empty. Her trolley still where she had left it. As if nothing had happened. As if nothing had changed. She finished her shift. She went home. She did not sleep. She sat in the small room she was now renting, a single bed, a window that faced a wall and stared at the ceiling. She told herself it was over. One night. She would never see him again. He would not remember her. Men like that, she assumed he was a man like that, did not remember cleaning staff. She was wrong about that. He was at the hotel the next morning. Not as a guest. At the staff entrance. In a suit that cost more than 6 months of her salary. Asking for the cleaning staff roster from the night before. The duty manager had gone white. Ethan Shen did not show up at staff entrances. Ethan Shen sent assistants. Ethan Shen did not personally ask for cleaning staff rosters. But Ethan Shen was asking. So the duty manager gave him what he asked for. Lily was on her rounds when Mrs. Chen found her. "The CEO wants to see you," Mrs. Chen said. Her voice was careful. The voice of someone delivering news they couldn't interpret. "Which CEO?" Lily said. Mrs. Chen looked at her. "Shen Capital," she said. "Mr. Shen, he's waiting in the manager's office." The floor dropped out from under Lily. Shen Capital. She knew that name. Everyone knew that name. It was on 3 buildings, visible from the hotel window. It was on billboards. It was on the financial news. Her cousin had been watching the night she arrived in the city. The man in room 1208 was Ethan Shen. She had spent the night with Ethan Shen. And run away before he woke up. She considered running again. She calculated the distance to the exit. She calculated whether she could get her things from her locker first. Then she straightened her uniform and walked to the manager's office. He was standing at the window when she walked in. His back to her, the same posture as the night before, looking at something outside. He turned when he heard the door. He looked at her for a long moment. She held his gaze. She had decided, in the corridor, that she would not look away. Looking away was for people who had done something wrong. She had not done anything wrong. She had done something unwise. Those were different things. "You left," he said. "Yes," she said, without saying anything. "Yes," she said again. A silence. "I wanted to find you," he said. "Not to cause you trouble, He paused. "I wanted to make sure you were all right." She had not expected that. She had prepared for anger. She had prepared for threats. She had prepared for the conversation that ended with her being escorted off the premises. She had not prepared for, "Are you all right?" "I'm fine," she said. "Last night was a mistake. It won't happen again. I understand if you want to report it to management. I'm not going to report it to management, he said. Then what do you want? She said. He looked at her. That adjusting look again. Like he was seeing her properly for the first time. I don't know yet, he said, but I know I don't want to pretend last night didn't happen. Lily looked at the man who owned half the skyline. Standing in a hotel manager's office, asking a cleaning staff member not to pretend the night before hadn't happened. She did not know what to do with that. She had never been in a situation she did not know what to do with. She found it unsettling. And very quietly, something else. She did not quit the job. She had thought about it. But quitting meant explaining to the agency. And explaining to the agency meant potentially losing the next placement. And losing the next placement meant her mother's medical bills. She stayed. She did her job. She avoided floor 12. He came back 3 more times that week. Not to the hotel as a guest. Each time he arrived at the staff entrance and asked to see her. Each time she came down. Not because she wanted to. Because the alternative, refusing, would have attracted more attention than going. The 3rd time, he brought coffee. 2 cups, from the cafe across the road. The good one, the one that cost 4 times what the canteen charged. You don't have to do this, she said. I know, he said. I wanted to. Why, she said. He was quiet for a moment. Because I've been in rooms full of people all week, and this is the first conversation I've looked forward to. She looked at him. She did not fully believe him. But she did not fully disbelieve him either. And there was something about that, the honest uncertainty of it, that felt more real than anything else she'd encountered since arriving in the city. She told him about her mother. Not because she planned to. It came out over the second coffee. How she had come from the village. The debt. The job. The small room with the window that faced a wall. He listened. All of it. Without interrupting. Without the particular expression people sometimes made when she described her circumstances. The expression that was half pity and half gratitude that they were not her. He just listened. Like it mattered. Like she mattered. She had not felt that in a long time. She was late. Not for work. The other kind of late. The kind that you notice first as a small anxiety. And then a larger one. And then you are in the pharmacy at 7 in the morning buying a test and not making eye contact with anyone. 2 lines. She sat in the small bathroom of her rented room for a long time. The test in her hands. The window that faced a wall. The sound of the city waking up outside. One night. She had told herself just one night. And now she was sitting on the edge of a bathtub with 2 lines telling her that one night had consequences she had not accounted for. She thought about her options. She was 23 years old. She had no family in the city, except a cousin who had already made it clear that her couch was not a permanent arrangement. She had a job that paid minimum wage. A sick mother 3 provinces away. A debt she was still paying down. And she was pregnant with Ethan Shen's child. She put the test in her bag. She went to work. She did not tell anyone. She needed to think. She needed more time to think than she had. She had not decided yet. She was still deciding when he appeared at the staff entrance the following day. He looked different. She noticed it immediately. Something in his expression. Not the controlled, composed look she had come to recognize. Something underneath it. Urgency almost. He was holding a pregnancy test. Still in the pharmacy bag. Unopened. She stopped walking. How did you, she started. One of the pharmacy staff recognized you, he said, his voice careful, even. She mentioned it to someone who mentioned it to my assistant. I know that's an invasion of your privacy. I'm sorry. She looked at him. At the test in his hand. At the expression on his face, That was not the face of a powerful man doing damage control. It was the face of a person who was trying very hard not to show how much this mattered. "You already know," she said. "I don't know anything," he said. "I came because I needed to know. Whatever the answer is, I needed to know." She looked at him for a long time. "You could have sent an assistant," she said. "You could have had someone call me. You could have done this 100 ways that didn't involve standing at a staff entrance with a pharmacy bag." "I know," he said. "So why are you here?" she said. He looked at her. Directly. The way he had looked at her that first night. Like he was deciding to be honest about something. "Because it matters to me," he said. "You matter to me. I don't know how that happened in 3 weeks, but it did." She had already taken a test. She told him. Quietly, standing in the corridor outside the staff locker room. "Positive," she said. He was very still. She watched his face. He did not look relieved. He did not look troubled. He looked like a man who had just understood something important. "Okay," he said. "Okay," she said. "I mean," he stopped. "I mean, I'm not going anywhere. Whatever you decide, I'm not going anywhere." She stared at him. "You don't know me," she said. "We've had coffee 3 times." "I know you," he said quietly. "More than you think." She did not know what to say to that. For the first time since arriving in the city, she had nothing to say. She did not tell the hotel. She did not need to. The city told the hotel. Someone had seen them at the staff entrance. Someone had photographed it. The pharmacy story had already been moving through certain circles. By the end of the week, it was on 3 gossip platforms and 1 financial blog. Shen Capital CEO VISITS hotel cleaner. Pregnancy RUMOURS. The hotel management called her in. The general manager. A man who had never acknowledged her existence before that morning. "Miss Meng," he said carefully, "we value all our staff, however, given the media attention." "You want me to resign," she said. He did not deny it. She had not expected him to. She put down her pass key. Her staff card. She stood up. "I'll save you the paperwork," she said. She walked out into the city. No job. Pregnant. Her name on 3 gossip platforms. Her phone ringing from a number she didn't recognize. She answered. "Miss Meng," a woman's voice said. "My name is Director He. I am the assistant to Madam Shen, Ethan Shen's mother. She would like to meet you. Today." Lily stood in the middle of the pavement. People moving around her. The city enormous and indifferent in every direction. Of course she would, Lily said. Madam Shen lived in a house that had its own street. Not on a street. Its own street. Gated, guarded, with a garden that had been designed by someone who understood that wealth announced itself through restraint. Lily had arrived in her cleaning uniform. She had not gone home to change. She had decided, on the taxi ride over, that she would not perform anything. She was who she was. If that wasn't enough for Madam Shen, then they would both find that out quickly. Madam Shen was in her 60s. Elegant in the way that comes from decades of knowing exactly who you are. She looked at Lily the way a person looks when they are doing a thorough, unsentimental assessment. She did not look unkind. Just comprehensive. "Sit down," she said. Lily sat. "My son tells me you are pregnant." "Yes," Lily said. "He tells me he intends to take responsibility." "He told me the same thing," Lily said. "And what do you want?" Madam Shen said. Lily looked at her. "What I want has nothing to do with him," she said carefully. "I'm not here to take anything from your son. I didn't plan this. I'm not trying to." "I know," Madam Shen said. A pause. "I've had people look into you," Madam Shen said. "This is not a criticism. It's what I do. You came from a village. You have a sick mother. You've been sending money home since you arrived. You have no previous connections to wealth or influence. You're not in debt to anyone. You have no agenda." Lily stared at her. You checked all of that, she said. By 10 this morning, Madame Shen said. I'm a thorough woman. Another pause. You're also from Lin province, Madame Shen said. Her voice changed slightly. What district? Qingshan district, Lily said. A small village near the mountain, you probably don't know it. Madame Shen went very still. What was your father's name? She said. Lily frowned. Meng Guohua, she said. Why? Madame Shen looked at her. For a long time. With an expression Lily could not read. Something between recognition and the beginning of something enormous. I need to make a phone call, Madame Shen said quietly. Please wait. Madame Shen came back 20 minutes later. She was not alone. She brought a woman. Early 60s, silver-haired. The kind of woman who looked like she had been crying for a very long time and had run out of tears years ago. She looked at Lily, and her hand went to her mouth. Ryuoxi, the woman said. Not as a question. As a recognition. I'm Lily, Lily said. Lily Meng. You have a birthmark, the woman said. On your left shoulder, shaped like a crescent. Lily went cold. She did have a birthmark. On her left shoulder. Shaped like a crescent. Her mother, her adoptive mother, had always called it her moon mark. How do you know that? Lily said. The woman sat down. Her legs not fully reliable. Because I put you to sleep every night for the first 2 years of your life, the woman said. And I know every mark on your body. Lily could not speak. My name is Huang Sulan, the woman said. 21 years ago, my daughter was taken from a hospital. She was 2 years old. She had a crescent birthmark on her left shoulder. She looked at Lily. I have been looking for her ever since. The room was absolutely silent. The DNA test took 3 days. 3 days in which Lily went back to her small room. The window that faced a wall. And sat with the possibility that everything she knew about herself was incomplete. Her adoptive mother had told her nothing. She had called home from the city. Her mother had cried. She had said, when you were small, you came to us. You had a high fever. You didn't remember anything before. We loved you. We should have told you, I'm sorry. We should have told you. 21 years of not knowing. 21 years of a woman in the city, looking for a crescent birthmark. The result came back on a Thursday. Madame Shen called her personally. It's a match, she said. You are Huang Ryuoxi, the daughter of Huang Sulan and the late Huang Dawei, one of the founding families of Dawei Corporation. Lily sat on the edge of her bed. The small room. The wall outside the window. She had come to the city with nothing. A debt. A sick mother. A uniform sizes too large. And she had arrived, without knowing it, exactly where she was supposed to be. Ethan called that evening. I heard, he said. Did you know? She said. No, he said. I swear to you I didn't know. My mother, when she heard where you were from, she suspected. But I didn't know. Does this change things? She said. For me, he said. Number, does it change things for you? She thought about that. About a man who had stood at a staff entrance with a pharmacy bag. About 3 weeks of coffee and honest conversations. About, are you all right, asked, in a hotel manager's office. About, I'm not going anywhere. No, she said. Good, he said. They came, of course. They always come. When the news moved through the city, hotel cleaner revealed as lost heiress of Dawei Corporation, pregnant with Shen Capital CEO's child. They came from every direction. The relatives she had never met. Cousins of cousins. People who had known her biological father and wanted her to know it. People who had always suspected the lost daughter would turn up and had been waiting to be the first to welcome her. And the other kind. A woman named Director Pang from the hotel, who had authorized Lily's dismissal and now appeared with an apology and a reinstatement offer. Several people from the corporate event circuit who had previously looked through her as if she were part of the furniture. a distant relative of Ethan's who appeared with congratulations and an investment proposal in the same breath. Lily watched all of it with the clear, unsentimental eyes of someone who had grown up without the luxury of pretending. Her biological mother was different. Huang Sulin, who had spent 21 years looking, who sat across from Lily in Madame Shen's sitting room and did not ask for anything, who simply looked at her daughter with the expression of someone who has been given back something they had given up hopping for. Lily had not expected to feel what she felt. She had braced for complication, for the messiness of being claimed by people she didn't know. What she felt instead was simpler, a kind of rightness, like a question she hadn't known she was carrying had just found its answer. She still loved her adoptive mother. She would always love her adoptive mother, the woman who had given her the best of a small life, who would now receive the care she deserved. All of it paid for, all of it handled, because Lily Meng, Huang Ruoxi, could now make that possible. She did not move into the Huang family compound immediately. She took her time. She was 23 years old, and she had spent her whole life being practical. Practicality had served her. She saw no reason to stop now. She met with the legal team. She understood what the inheritance meant. She asked questions until she had real answers. She did not perform gratitude she didn't feel. She did not perform caution she didn't need. She was herself, thoroughly and without apology, the way she had always been. Ethan came to see her on a Sunday afternoon, at the small rented room, which she had not yet left. He stood in the doorway and looked at the window that faced a wall. "This is where you've been living," he said. "Yes," she said. "For how long?" "Since I arrived," she said. He looked at it for a long time. "You should have said something," he said. "Why?" she said. "You weren't responsible for my circumstances." "No," he said, "but I could have helped." "I didn't need help," she said. "I needed the job." He looked at her. "You are the most self-sufficient person I have ever met," he said. "Is that a criticism?" she said. "No," he said. "It's the thing I admire most about you." She looked at him, at the man who owned half the skyline, who had stood at a staff entrance with a pharmacy bag, who had come back 5 times when he could have sent anyone else. "The baby," she said. "I want to keep it." "I know," he said. "I'm not asking for anything," she said. "I know that too," he said. "That's not what I'm here for." "Then what are you here for?" she said. He crossed the small room. He sat on the chair beside the window, the one that faced a wall. He looked at her. "I'm here because this is where you are," he said. "And I told you, I'm not going anywhere." It was not simple. She would not pretend it was simple. There were people in Ethan's world who were not quiet about their opinions. A former associate of his who appeared at a dinner and spent 20 minutes establishing that Lily's background made her unsuitable. A business contact who asked, with the smile of someone asking a neutral question, whether the timing of the pregnancy was convenient. A woman from the extended Shen family who said the phrase from the countryside with a particular inflection that managed to convey everything she intended. Lily heard all of it. She did not perform upset. She did not perform dignity. She simply responded to each thing with the specific clarity of someone who had grown up without the luxury of indirect communication. To the former associate, "My background is mine. You can have opinions about it. It won't change it." To the business contact, "The timing was mine to manage. Thank you for your concern." To the woman from the extended family, "Yes, from a village. Thank you for keeping track." Ethan, who had watched all 3 exchanges, said nothing in the moment. Afterward, he said, "You didn't need me to defend you." "No," she said, "but I noticed you were ready to." He looked at her. "I was," he said. She put her hand in his. It was the first time she had reached for him. He held on. She had come to the city with nothing. That was still true. She had come with a debt and a sick mother and a uniform 2 sizes too large. None of that was a story she was ashamed of. It was what it was. It had made her who she was. A person who cleaned rooms and noticed everything. Who sat in the dark with a stranger and was honest. Who ran and then stood still when it mattered. Her adoptive mother came to the city 6 months later. Her health had improved with the treatment Lily had arranged. She walked into the apartment Lily now had large windows, real light, the city visible in every direction, and stood in the middle of it and said nothing for a long time. "Mom," Lily said, "what's wrong?" "Nothing," her mother said. "Nothing is wrong, I'm just looking." "At what?" Lily said. "At everything you made," her mother said, "from nothing." Lily held her mother for a long time. Huang Sulen, her biological mother, came for the birth. She sat in the corridor and held Lily's adoptive mother's hand. 2 women who had both loved the same child. In different ways. For different lengths of time. Both completely. Lily's daughter was born at 4 in the morning. The same hour Lily had left room 1208. She noticed that. Ethan was in the room when it happened. He had not left the hospital. He had been there for 11 hours. When the nurse put the baby in his arms, he looked down at her. And then he looked at Lily. "She has your eyes," he said. "She has your nose," Lily said. "That's unfortunate for her," he said. Lily laughed. Properly. The first real laugh in a long time. The room in the hotel, room 1208, was renovated the following year. Lily did not ask for it to be preserved. She was not a sentimental person. Or she was, but in the private kind of way that didn't need external markers. She carried what mattered. Internally. The way she had always carried things. One night. She had told herself just one night. Nobody will know. Nobody knew everything. But some things can't be unknowed. Some nights can't be made into nothing. Not when they become a daughter with your eyes and his nose. Not when they become a mother finding her daughter. Not when they become a man at a staff entrance with a pharmacy bag saying you matter to me. One night. That became everything.